Hello and welcome to the High Tech Low Code podcast. Today for our co-host, we have the company of Gary Williams. How are you doing, Gary?
Yeah, hello Mario, I'm well, thank you. I'm very much looking forward to speaking to our guest and hearing about his views on the topic we've prepared.
As for the podcast topic, we're going to talk about one of the leading low-code platforms, OutSystems. And to help us with that, we have the company of Roy G., Principal Solution Architect at OutSystems. Roy has nearly a decade of hands-on experience in information technology that translated into collaboration with international sales organizations and multinational teams, specializing in low-code platforms while keeping a close eye on modern technology revolutions in blockchain and its usage. I would like to start by asking, how are you? And if you would like to give the listeners an intro about yourself.
Hi, yes, I'm Roy G. I have a very long last Sri Lankan name, so I'm not going to pronounce that here. But having said that, I have been with OutSystems now about 6 years. As Mario mentioned, I'm one of the solution architects here. And I have been working in different solutions in the past with business support solutions as well as operational support solutions. And then I moved on to a platform solution, which then eventually I ended up with this opportunity here at OutSystems.
Well, hello Roy, it's Gary here. Pleased to meet you. Diving straight into our discussion then for today and focusing on OutSystems particularly. What made you pick OutSystems as a technology for you to invest in? I can see that you've been with the technology for about 10 years. I'm just interested to know what made you stay with the OutSystems platform.
So I think for me, what was interesting was that I used to work also with a previous platform provider, a platform that enable monetization of digital services or any kind of services. So I was kind of slightly getting bored with the same kind of opportunities in the sense that it was the same industry space that I was in. So I wanted a slight change, and at the same time I was looking for something more challenging as well as something that covered more of the industries as well as use cases around the world. And then OutSystems fortunately fell on my lap, and that made me invest my time to really understand the platform as well as the organization, and with which I'm in love with right now. But having said that, when I first joined OutSystems, I think I was also kind of skeptical because this was a industry that I had never heard before, a concept called low code. And OutSystems has moved far beyond the concept of low code, obviously. But yeah, so it took maybe a few weeks to maybe a couple of months for me to get my head around it. But now, obviously, I didn't think for a second that it would go in a different direction than where it is heading right today.
Focusing on OutSystems. So I would like to ask, who is OutSystems for and who is it not for? And also, what is the coolest solution you have ever worked on?
Okay, good questions there. So I think OutSystems, if you look at OutSystems and now OutSystems customers, more than nearly 2,000 customers that we are serving around the world. And what is interesting is that spanning 22 industries, I haven't still seen a business use case where OutSystems isn't suitable for. Where OutSystems I don't see fitting in is where you want to create the next coolest gaming application. So gaming industry probably is not a suitable industry for OutSystems to create applications with, unless it's to serve the internal users or operational aspects of a game. But other than that, I think OutSystems can be used in almost any scenario. So we have customers that are managing the health of individuals using our applications, to fund managements, to even helping people in need in a desperate situation. So our system applications span from front end all the way through to operational back end set of applications. So in that sense, yeah, so I can see the OutSystems being used across multitude of industry verticals as well as organizations. And what was the coolest solution I worked on? I think during the last couple of years, one of the memorable ones is an organization called Think Money. who provides a great service to its customers that cannot manage finances. So they support the management of finances on behalf of a individual. And when we started, they had a mobile application that was delivered by a third party who was in control of that delivery. And within less than few months, or maybe 6 months during the transition period of that systems to OutSystems, they have now taken full control of that application. And I originally participated in the evaluation cycle of this process to support the customer. And today that app has more than 4.6 ratings with by hundreds and hundreds of users. So it goes to show that OutSystems can very quickly convert the end user satisfaction of how you provide the digital services to your customers. And having said that, OutSystems can fit into any model of a customer whether they are starting out into a new business as an aspirational organization or the masters of the industries that are trying to keep up with the digital evolution that is taking place today.
And talking about that digital evolution, obviously that's growing and growing, and focusing on getting started in OutSystems. What advice would you give to any individual who's just about to embark on their IT career or would like to start with OutSystems?
Yeah, good question there. And I think that what is interesting is that we see individuals that are coming into OutSystems ecosystem from all walks of life. So we have developers that have started their journey as economists or financial advisors that have some technical acumen or curiosity that have started with OutSystems and become full architects or even expert developers using OutSystems. So if you want to start, I think we provide a great set of tutorials on our website, and there is a ecosystem of more than 250,000 community members whom you can reach out to ask for questions. And we have our OutSystems training completely online, free of charge to anyone who wants to start using OutSystems. And you can start today with a free trial that for a personal edition, which stays alive forever, where you can create very creative apps to whether you want to control your Sonos sound system at home or the Philips bulbs at home using your own apps instead of the supply provided one. So you can start anywhere really, and it's up to you to figure out at which creativity level you want to start at, and go to outsystems.com. And on our learn page, you have a whole bunch of resources where you can start from. And whether you have a traditional development experience or whether you don't have any development experience and you're just looking into starting how to deliver digital solutions or applications, OutSystems provides starting points around these through our training materials as specified as a guided path. So you can become a full stack developer or expert in mobile front ends or figure out how to optimize business processes, etc., etc.
Oh, that's quite interesting. And using that as a segue for challenges, what do you consider to be OutSystems' biggest technological challenges, if we take into consideration traditional development and other existing low-code platforms?
I think that the biggest challenge that OutSystems and other low-code providers face in the market is the ability to convince people that these are solutions that really can provide digital innovation capabilities to your organization to not only digitally evolve, but also to keep up with the fast pace that the modern consumer requires. And from the challenge point of view, I think that what is really required is a mind shift change in the sense of adopting these kinds of cloud native digital delivery technologies, solution delivery technologies such as OutSystems. So OutSystems, compared to other low-code providers, I think our challenge really is convincing our customers and our prospects that we provide full breadth and width of the capabilities. Not only it's a full stack mobile and web development platform, but it also a full lifecycle management tool, together with the capability to very easily and quickly integrate with multitude of information repositories, as well as the ability to provide engagement to your end users, be it mobile, web, or through voice-driven channels, as it's becoming more and more popular today. So OutSystem provides that full breadth of capabilities, but unfortunately, customers and prospects during these evaluation cycles doesn't see the full capacity set of OutSystems, and so they kind of end up comparing a particular set of functionality that we provide against maybe other local providers, and then choose on some other criteria. So those are the kind of the common challenges that we have. But other than that, I think we kind of usually win our opportunities when customers evaluate the full breadth of the functional capabilities and the function and feature capabilities that OutSystem platform provides.
That's actually quite interesting. Out of the blue, I was considering, have you ever got a client that would go, oh no, we don't want to use OutSystems, but in the end, it kind of like, oh, I'm so glad we went with OutSystems.
I think it usually happens the other way around. So we have customers that have started evaluating low code and then eventually say that, okay, this is not good. This happened 5-6 years ago, right? When the definition of low code and high productivity platforms as a service, such as OutSystems, didn't exist. At that point, I think customers and the industry knowledge was more around, the stability and the core development processes that existed in the past and still today do. And what was interesting was some of these customers who are customers today would start on a high code route, and then 6 months down the line, then come back to us and say like, okay, we haven't been able to deliver this project. We need to talk to you again. So we have those opportunities more and more nowadays, because a lot of the customers that couldn't deliver their projects over the past few years are coming back to us to start engaging with us again, to be able to show their organization that platforms like ours can really deliver to organizations the capabilities, the digital capabilities that they need to conduct their business.
Oh, wow, that's quite interesting. I never thought about it on that direction.
I was just going to say that I was involved previous to my joining OutSprint. I was working for an automotive company, and they were, at the time when I joined, looking at various platform providers, and they were obviously being courted by the sales teams for each of those vendors, and it was a difficult decision. But the job that I had at the time was working within the business, but for a different. I wasn't working in the IT team at the time, and I got involved in pulling a demo together of the OutSystems platform, because I'd been using it myself in my previous life. Since 2011, when I first got involved in OutSystems, and I bought it for my own business at that time. So I've been on that side of the fence when I was looking at the different providers, and I chose OutSystems. So I've been a big advocate of OutSystems ever since. So I had this unique opportunity when I joined this other business to show them what I'd done personally, and I was more trusted because I wasn't a salesperson. I was actually working for the business, but it was interesting to see what their criteria was, and it was confusing because these IT people are obviously got lots and lots of other things, projects going on, and they're not specialists, and they're often given the job of choosing these software packages almost based on all the nice glossy brochures and the demos, which obviously work quite well. And I was able to actually give a real life demo, and off the back of that, then this company bought the OutSystems product and went on to successfully create some apps, and it went on from there. So it's an interesting problem that all the companies have, and OutSystems particularly, I guess, is that it's a really great product, you know what it does, but you've got a finite time to demonstrate that, and it's a difficult one.
That is quite interesting, and I guess it's really easier to be able to get to a place and just do a technical demo than just show up with the brochure and go on from there to try and advocate the technology, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting that credibility and believability. That's the thing. And with a product like OutSystems, from personal experience, it's so easy to sell because it's great, but it's actually getting your foot in the door and getting that belief. So yeah, good luck with that, OutSystems.
True indeed.
So leading on to that, from my perspective, as I've said, I'm a big advocate of OutSystems, and I've always felt that they've been a huge leader in the low-code arena, always getting good responses and measurements from the Forrester and Gartner reports. So how do you believe, Roy, that OutSystems will maintain its dominance within this market?
I think having competitors is a good thing, because it helps us as well as our competition to improve what they deliver to their customers in specializing and becoming better at what they deliver. But one of the key differentiators of OutSystems is that our vision is based around the ability to fuel the creative force delivering digital innovation, or keep up with the digital evolution that is happening, right? So, and with that vision, what we do every year is look at the market, and we look at what are the trending technologies, and who is adopting them, and who are the innovators using them, and which companies are embracing what type of technologies, and what are the early majority of these technologies. So for example, if you look at microservices, this was something that was not very much heard of in 5 years ago, but it's now become mainstream today, right? So OutSystems was able to deliver these kind of services through platform evolution, or platform innovation. Within couple of years of that technology becoming into the mainstream. So we always look at the industry to understand what's really happening, and what are the common elements where people are interacting through. So if we see, for example, artificial intelligence is where the technology or the industry is going, then OutSystems has its own best interest to invest in it. And which what we have done recently by incorporating artificial intelligence into our development studio, as well as it coming into some other aspects that are going to be released with a new version showcase that's happening next week through Next Step that we run every year. So there are certain things that we are bringing into the market as well, and we are also keeping up with where the Gartners and the Forresters and the analysts see that digital technology is evolving in the marketplace. So for example, they believe that AI and application solutions will be more and more driven by the business than the IT organization. So, and businesses is using platform like OutSystems as a digital capability to deliver a digital economy that they need to fulfill for their end users. So in that sense, OutSystems has a very big weight to carry, because we are not just a development tool in that sense. We have to make sure that we are up to date with not only the experience industry, in the sense that how you consume your applications, whether it's mobile, desktop, tablets, TV, or through services like Alexa and Google Home. And then we have to also keep up with the security challenges that are happening in the market, right? So cybersecurity is one of the most important that's taken place over the last 6 months during this challenging time. And OutSystem, for example, out of the box provides more than 200 plus security features that our customers usually would need to invest a lot of money to make sure that they are capable of delivering, right? So we constantly keep up with those aspects as well. And then comes the ability to scale and to be able to deliver applications in a very consumable fashion to the end user, without impacting their experience of what they're going to receive from their supplier. So we also make sure that we are keeping up with the current trends, such as Kubernetes and Docker and Docker Swarms, for example, to make sure that our customers will be able to deliver applications with the new technology formats and new technology platforms that are going to be up and coming soon, so that our customers do not end up in technical debt. And that's one of our key messages, right? So be able to, don't be afraid of your creativity, because the platform will enable that. And then at the same time, don't worry so much about technical debt, because OutSystems as a platform will make sure that you will have little technical debt compared to the traditional legacy methodologies that you had followed in the past.
I see. So we can also look at OutSystems like one of the biggest catalysts for digital transformation. That is something that we actually need nowadays, right? Due to the pandemic and whatnot, we actually need something that would help us bring systems that allow us to connect with each other and get on with our work and so forth. That's quite interesting. And I'm going to use that to jump on to my next question, actually. So we are seeing OutSystems as something that would help us with the digital transformation, being this the new wave of technology for the future, for so to speak. So what is your vision for the future of software development, taking into account the rapid progress we are observing in technology? How do you think it might look like in, I don't know, 10 years? Can we even look that further away?
I'm not so sure about 10 years, because as you said, the technology and the whole landscape of how we consume technology or consume services are constantly changing. So one of the predictions, I kind of, for prediction purposes, I kind of rely on the analysts, because I think they do better research than I personally would. So Gartner's, Forrester's, and IDC, for example, they talk about a lot of applications, for example, getting smaller and smaller, because we are looking for point solutions of how we are going to consume services. For example, recently, Apple introducing things like App Clip, which I personally think that will take off in some point in the future, very soon. At the same time, we see that IDC says, for example, it has taken nearly 40 years to build for 500, nearly 500 million solutions or digital solutions that are in the marketplace today. But they also predict that the next 500 million is going to take only another 4 or 5 years, or even less. So which means that these other applications are going to be delivered 10 times the speed into the market. And it's not only utilizing low-code platforms, but many other solutions that are in the marketplace. So that means that we are seeing more and more consumable software building digital assets in the market, from complete no-code to OutSystems like low-code platforms. And even ourselves are adding no-code features on top of the OutSystem platform, so that citizen developers can really start engaging with the whole IT organization, in the sense that they are the ones to be able to define and decide what kind of services that they're going to offer to their customers. So this is going to be fundamental part of software delivery. And then comes the artificial intelligence and the AI, which are going to be available for both during the app development cycles, which we have introduced already, which is going to be even further extended with its features as the platform evolves. And not only us, our other competitive low-code providers also have enabled their digital development studios to incorporate artificial intelligence during the development process, as well as we are going to see more and more data being utilized by these AI platforms to make decisions on behalf of consumers. And we are seeing how bots are disrupting so many things today, right? And so this is going to be out of the box features for most of the development platforms in the future. And then also we are seeing that things like hardware is slowly fading into the background and software becoming more prominent. If you look at driverless cars, for example, where the software is the key feature there, not really the vehicle itself. Of course, the vehicle will provide you the comfort and the design and the status of who you are, but it's actually the software that's going to drive the forces behind that. So I see software evolving in a way, or the development evolving in a way that we will see more and more hard to implement digital assets today becoming more and more common commodities in the future.
It's interesting because, as you were saying, the use of AI to make decisions for us. So we're talking about how can I say this? So preemptive. Preemptive. Yeah, thanks. The decisions for our software. I'm thinking about, I don't know, Industry 4.0. Big farm that's running loads of hardware, running loads of software, and maybe making better decisions for their products to get better and more products.
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at the industry today, Gartner themselves predicts that more than 20% of the 2020 or towards 2021 customers will move towards cloud native solutions. So infrastructure from organizational custodianship is slowly disappearing into the cloud, and we will see the same happening to software as well. So more and more software assets that big organizations run on-premise, it'll move more towards the cloud. With it comes security challenges and other challenges cloud native architectures bring. So organizations that are well equipped to handle these kind of cloud native architectures, which have maybe multitude of developers, it's not everyone that can afford have that luxury. So the smaller players who still need to play in the same playing field and disrupt the traditional economies and traditional business models, they need to also be able to provide this kind of cloud native features, as well as take advantage of cloud native services organizations such as OutSystems and our competitors provide. So you're correct. So we will see more and more people moving to cloud operations, as well as cloud native software delivery and development tools as well.
All right. Okay. Well, Gary, would you like to ask anything else?
I was just going to touch on something actually, what we just talked about, the shift in technology and software. Also, from my perspective, my personal experience as well is the culture change. So that automotive company that I talked about a moment ago, I was in a citizen developer type role, and the IT were scared of that. IT teams wouldn't allow me to do certain things. They were scared I was going to develop something they couldn't support, didn't have the time to support, didn't have the money to support. And despite me being involved in them choosing OutSystems, I was actually locked out because I was developing apps to supplement the team that I was working for, but the IT team couldn't work with it. They were worried about being able to support it, and I think that's where the growth could be inhibited if the culture doesn't change to adopt and allow that sort of growth of the wider ability within a team or a business to start creating these apps to make them get into production.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, Gary. There's a cultural mind shift that is required by organizations. But having said that, I think when the industry or when the organization starts seeing there are hundreds and thousands of applications that are going to be delivered using platform like ours, OutSystems, we will get to a point that there will be certain trust established within the organizations that these are tools that both the citizen developers can use as well as the IT developers. But what is unique about OutSystems is that a citizen developer can start building some digital assets or solutions that they need for the organizations. But on top of that, we provide a full governance umbrella around it. So just because a citizen developer did something or developed something doesn't mean that it can go into the stage of the production unless it goes through that validation cycle, through that governance model that you establish with a platform like OutSystems. And because of that, with OutSystems, you can start with a very small team of, 2 or 3 developers, or even 1 developer in some cases, or to a full digital factory of 50, 60 people that can provide the efficiency of nearly 200 people in a developer organization. And that's a lot of digital assets that you can create in a very short period of time. And with with the enablement of citizen developer, you can bring the business as well as the IT delivery organizations together with platforms like OutSystems.
Brilliant answer. Love that. Love that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Roy. Well, unfortunately, we just ran out of time. Thank you very much, Roy and Gary, for being able to join us and taking time off from your schedule to participate in our podcast.
Thanks you very much. Thanks for the invite. Happy to participate. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Roy. Cheers.
And with that, we wrap up today's episode. Thank you very much for listening and hope you join us on our next episode of High Tech Low Code Podcast, where we'll feature another guest and approach yet another topic of extreme importance to the tech world. See you soon.